Hi everyone, as a homeowner in Maryland, I've seen firsthand how these rules can affect affordability. If you find this content valuable, please like and subscribe. It genuinely helps me keep creating fact-based videos that expose the flaws in the HOA system nationwide and push for meaningful legislative reform. Your support helps protect homeowners, veterans, seniors, working families, and first-time homebuyers, and defends the American dream from unaccountable private corporations. Together, we can promote fairness, restore transparency, and defend the constitutional right to own and enjoy your property without private interference. Let's start with the basics. A homeowners association, or HOA, is a private corporation, not a government agency. It's formed under state statutes like Maryland Real Property 11B and similar laws across the country. When you buy a home in one of these communities, you don't get to negotiate whether you'll join. You're automatically bound by recorded covenants and deed restrictions to become a member and follow their rules. This isn't voluntary. It's a mandatory contract imposed as a condition of ownership, not an act of consent. Despite being private, HOAs exercise government-like powers. They can fine you, restrict your property, record liens, and even foreclose, all without the same constitutional oversight that applies to real government. In other words, HOAs act like a government, but without the Constitution. The U.S. Constitution exists to prevent exactly that kind of unchecked authority. Under the 14th Amendment, no one can be deprived of property without due process of law. Under the First Amendment, your right to express yourself, even on your own property, is protected. And under the non-delegation principle, the state cannot delegate coercive or governmental powers to private entities that are not democratically accountable. Yet HOAs do all of the above. They impose fines without a neutral hearing. They file liens without judicial review. They restrict speech and expression through contractual pretexts. If a city or county did this, it would violate multiple constitutional protections. But because HOAs are private, they operate in a legal loophole, a privatized layer of governance that exercises public power without public accountability. That is fundamentally incompatible with the American constitutional system. The HOA model didn't evolve naturally. It was engineered by local governments. As cities sought to expand housing without increasing municipal budgets, developers were encouraged, and often required, to form HOAs. This allowed governments to offload public responsibilities like roads, lighting, and parks onto private homeowners. The result is a form of double taxation without representation. Homeowners pay once through property taxes and again through mandatory HOA assessments that fund services the local government should already provide. But here's the injustice. When homeowners pay property taxes, insurance, and full maintenance costs, their rights should expand, not shrink. They shoulder every financial burden: mortgage, taxes, insurance, and upkeep, yet live under a system where a private corporate board, which pays none of their bills, can dictate what they do with their own property. That's not community management. That's a reversal of ownership. And it contradicts both equity and constitutional fairness. Let's talk about money. HOA dues aren't optional. They're legally tied to your property title. These assessments have skyrocketed nationwide, often with little oversight, no audits, and no member vote. A growing share of these funds goes to administration, enforcement, and litigation, not to maintenance or improvement. Many homeowners end up financing lawsuits against themselves because the HOA board can authorize costly legal actions funded by the very dues paid by the residents being targeted. That's not fiscal responsibility. That's a structural conflict of interest. In effect, HOAs operate as unregulated tax collectors, draining wealth from homeowners while escaping the transparency required of any public body. It's a financial and moral failure, one that worsens housing unaffordability across the country. A home is not just an asset. It's a vested property, right protected by the Constitution and centuries of common law. The Due Process Clause forbids deprivation of property without judicial fairness. The Equal Protection Clause forbids selective enforcement or favoritism. The First Amendment guarantees freedom of expression on private property. HOAs routinely violate all three. They impose financial penalties without judicial review. They treat residents unequally based on personal discretion or bias. And they restrict lawful expression and peaceful dissent. That's why the HOA system represents a delegation of state power to private actors, without constitutional limits or public legitimacy. In effect, it creates a private government that governs citizens, but is not governed by law. That violates the very foundation of American democracy. Because HOAs were created through state-enabling acts, the same legislatures, or Congress, under interstate housing authority, can limit, restructure, or abolish them. This isn't about adding bureaucracy. It's about restoring public accountability and constitutional order. We can replace HOAs with county-managed maintenance districts, public service authorities, or voluntary neighborhood cooperatives that operate transparently and under public law. These models already exist in many states, and they work. If you pay property taxes, maintain your home, and follow the law, you should not need permission from a private corporation to make decisions about your own property. Ownership should mean freedom, not subordination. The HOA model was never designed to empower homeowners. It was designed to shift costs and control. Today, it has become a constitutional contradiction. Private entities acting as governments without the protections of government. That's not sustainable, it's not fair, and it's not American. Ending this model isn't radical, it's restorative. It means returning to the founding idea that the right to own property must never come at the cost of constitutional liberty. So please, if you support this message, like, share, and subscribe. Your engagement helps raise awareness, inform lawmakers, and protect families across the country. Together, we can restore fairness, accountability, and the freedom every homeowner deserves. Your support helps me keep creating free, fact-based videos for everyone. Thank you. This video is for civic awareness and educational purposes. It expresses opinion and analysis based on publicly available laws, court decisions, and housing policy research. It does not allege or imply misconduct by any specific person or entity.